true life will fill your cup. Follow what lights you up. More of what makes you smile. Life is both beauty and pain. Pour the wine and live it up. Fresh air while the paint is wet. House plans are sketching out. There's new life inside of me. I'm stretching past old limits. Follow what lights you up. More of what makes you smile. Life is both beauty and pain. Pour the wine and live it up. Follow what lights you up. More of what makes you smile. Life is both beauty and pain. Pour the wine and live it up.
Say my name until the city burns and the stars fade away and your scars don't hurt. Stay with me until the last man falls. I don't need them anyway. When I'm with you, I have it all. Oh, I'll never let you slip away. Oh, and you don't have to be afraid. I will hold you till the sun comes crashing down. I'm yours until the end of time. Say my name until the city burns and the stars fade away and your scars don't hurt. Stay with me until the last man falls. I don't need them anyway. When I'm with you, I have it all. Oh, I'll never let you slip away. Oh, and you don't have to be afraid. I will hold you till the sun comes crashing down. I'm yours until the end of time. Stay with me till the stars fade away and your scars don't say my name, stay with me till the stars fade away. And your scars don't hurt. Your scars don't hurt.
It's Editing Florence here. I wanted to come on and just give you a little bit of a rundown of what we did on our trip, since I don't know that all of it is really that obvious from the footage that we had. The footage is pretty cool and aesthetic, but I just want to also talk to you a little bit about all the things we did on the trip. I'm including links to everything that we did in the description of this video in case you want to plan your own Berkshires trip that looks a little bit similar. So first of all, it was really exciting to be able to go on this trip all together as a family. We hadn't done like a full family vacation in a while, and also Noah, because of his nursing schedule, doesn't usually get to go with us on vacations. It just never usually works out with his schedule, and also his parents live out of the country. So the problem is that like when he has a lot of days off, usually obviously he wants to go and visit his parents, because my parents live 45 minutes away and we see them all the time. But we really wanted him to be able to come on this vacation, and we were so happy that he was able to get the time off to be able to do that. The only kind of hitch in the plan was that his work schedule didn't allow him to take both of the Sundays off. So we had to leave for the Berkshires, me and Noah, about a day later than the rest of my family did. So the rest of my family headed up on Sunday and got there on Monday, And I worked at my church job on Sunday, and then we headed out on Monday, and we got there on Tuesday. So we drove up to Massachusetts where we were staying, and we did like kind of a little road trip. I think you can probably tell by now that I really enjoy road trips. And unfortunately for us, there's not a lot open on Mondays on our trips. Like a lot of stuff that we like to go to just isn't open on Mondays. So we didn't pack as much into those trips as we really wanted to, but we found some super cool stuff, and it just required a little bit of thinking outside the box. So on the drive up, I can't remember what happened on which days. I'm sure that is kind of somewhat evident from the footage, which is currently being uploaded to my computer right now. But we did stop at a couple of wineries, a couple of cider places, and we stayed overnight just outside of Scranton in a Holiday Inn that was really cool because it was kind of in the old style where like the pool and the front desk and everything are in the middle, and it's very like open plan, and all of the rooms are just kind of along the perimeter. And that meant that sometimes it was a little bit noisy. Like the pool didn't close until 10 p.m. and we were right outside the pool so we could hear people in it. But I thought it was actually super fun. It was just like a cool experience, and everybody was very polite and respectful. When the pool closed, it immediately got quiet. I had no trouble sleeping, so that was really nice. Then we woke up on Tuesday morning and we went to an awesome diner for breakfast, and then we went on a little hike on the way up there at High Point in New Jersey. And then we also went to a gallery that I found called Art Omi, and it had a little tiny gallery, but then it had like acres and acres and acres and acres of sculpture park. And I found that because I was thinking to myself, like, oh man, you know, it'd be so great is if I could go to a sculpture garden, because I love sculpture gardens. And so I found that place, and the grounds are just, it's free, you can just walk around. It was very hot that day, so we didn't get to stay for as long as we wanted, but spoiler alert, we did go back, so that we got to see a little bit more when it was slightly cooler. So then after all of that, we met up on Tuesday at the hotel in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, where we were staying with my parents and Sarah, and we got dinner at a place that was across the street from the hotel. It was very good, very crowded and very noisy, but it was very good food. And then we pretty much just like went to bed because we were so tired from our trip. Then on Wednesday, we got our first experience with what ended up being our favorite breakfast place in Pittsfield, which was called Dottie's. It was a really, really cute little coffee shop. I think we went there, I don't know, at least 3 times over our trip there. And then in the afternoon, our big event for the day was, as part of the Berkshire Theater Festival, we saw kind of a jukebox musical called $1 Million Quartet. And it had to do with several famous singers, you know, Elvis, Johnny Cash, etc., who were gathering together at this recording studio for kind of this big blockbuster quartet. They all kind of end up there for various reasons, and then they decide to do this project together. And so there's a lot of stories about kind of how things were changing at the time and the interactions between each of the singers, and then also just a lot of really great music, and really, really enjoyed that. Everybody in the audience was super enthusiastic. It was just like a really fun time to be there experiencing something with everybody. And then we had dinner that night at the hotel restaurant, which was, again, we went there several times, one of my favorite things that we did there. I mean, really, the people who worked there, absolutely the nicest people ever. And the food was great. When we went to the bar, the drinks were amazing. And I just kept wanting to come back every day just to say hi to everybody. Everybody really kind of got to know us while we were there. This was another Holiday Inn that we stayed at, and I highly recommend it. It was so pleasant to stay there. Everybody was really, really nice. We had a great experience. Pittsfield has that nice small town vibe. We would run into people around town that we had met earlier in the week, and it was just super, super fun. So then Thursday was a big day, and it was kind of my favorite day because we went to an art kind of warehouse. It's an art museum, but it feels like a gigantic warehouse. It's kind of like an old an old mill, I think. My parents will correct me if I'm wrong. But it's an old building that's just been like kept as is but converted into an art space. And there's art everywhere. There's no way you could like possibly see it all over the course of one trip. I felt like I went all over it and I was still finding little corners of things that I hadn't seen. So it was called Mass Mocha. I don't know if I've already said that. And we spent much of the day there just walking around, looking at the different installations. One of my favorite artists, Anselm Kiefer, has his own little space there, and so I knew that was a must-see for me. I had to go see the Anselm Kiefer space. And then there was a bunch of like light sound installations that were really cool, things built right into the walls, like right into the space, and just like an absolute sensory dream to just be able to immerse myself in all of that. And because Mass Mocha is in North Adams, Massachusetts, which is actually where my dad's side of the family is originally from, we got to take a walk after that and go down to where my Aunt Marion used to live when she was living. There's an apartment building there that it's just like an old building that's been converted into apartments, and she lived on the 3rd floor. And I know when Noah and I, at the beginning of our relationship, we did a New England road trip, and I took Noah to that apartment complex to look at it, but now we're going again, and Sarah went with us and everything, and it was super fun. I only really wished that we could go in. It's locked, obviously. It's only people who live there are able to get in. I was really hoping there would be like a little guest entrance. I tried to find a guest entrance around the back to go into because I just wanted to, like, I don't want to invade people's privacy, but I wanted to just go up the stairs to the 3rd floor and see if it looked the same as I remembered, but there was no way to get in, unfortunately. And we even went into a bookstore, and we asked, like, a bookstore that was in the building on the retail side, and we asked if there was a way to get up, and she said she didn't know. I think she just wanted to say no. But that was okay. We at least got to see the outside of it, and we looked in at the lobby and saw the staircase that, like, my dad remembered from when he was younger. So that was pretty cool. And then we went to dinner, and when we got to dinner, there was a huge storm, and we actually had almost a hard time getting back to our hotel, even though we were only like a couple tenths of a mile away from the hotel, because everything was flooding and there were no lifts or Ubers that could come to pick us up, and we didn't want to walk back. Eventually we did run back and get the car and picked up my parents so that we could get everybody home. But it was a huge storm came on all of a sudden, and it was very cool, but like definitely gave us a time getting home at a point where we were really tired and really just wanted to go to bed. Then Friday, we tried to do a hike in the morning, the Audubon hike, but it was so buggy. We walked out and it was kind of like a swampy atmosphere, and it was full of mosquitoes. And I am like very lucky in that I'm the type of person where like bugs usually don't care about me. I don't really get a lot of mosquito bites, but my poor husband does, and like the bugs love him. So he was getting eaten alive by bugs. Even I was starting to be getting eaten alive by bugs, and like if they're going for me, they must be really voracious because I usually get off easy. But they were biting both of us. We were having a hard time. Then it looked like another thunderstorm was coming in, so we just went back, and then we went later that day and fulfilled a childhood dream for me, and we went to Jacob's Pillow. Jacob's Pillow is a dance event, and there were multiple dance performances during the day, and we got to see 2 dance performances, and both of them were absolutely amazing. The second dance performance was on the big, beautiful outdoor stage that Jacob's Pillow is famous for, like just a flat stage with no back that looks straight out onto like the most amazing mountainous kind of like Berkshire landscape, and it's just like, again, just a sensory delight. And so I was thrilled to be able to do that. And then on Saturday we went to breakfast at a different place called Otto's, which was very good, but when we were trying to think of places to go the rest of the time, we decided we just wanted to go back to Dottie's after that, because while Otto's was good, it was also quite busy, and it didn't have really the same atmosphere, but we really enjoyed going there. And then we went to the Norman Rockwell Museum, which is a place that's also been on my list for a long time. we got to walk the grounds and see all of the Norman Rockwell art, and then I went to the gift shop, and there's a Norman Rockwell print that's called The Organist Waiting for His Cue, and I really wanted that to get so I could frame it and put it like near the organ where I play at church, because I thought that would be really cute to have like Organist Waiting for His Cue near the place where I play the organ. And so I was able to find that print, which was amazing. And then we also, in the afternoon, saw my favorite play of the time that we were there, which was called, it was just a straight play, it wasn't a musical, and it was called Tiny Father. And it was this absolutely like wonderful, sweet, hilarious two-person show about this guy who has been kind of thrust into fatherhood unexpectedly, and his interaction with the nurse in the neonatal ICU where his daughter is staying. And the whole show is just the interactions between the two of them, the kind of growth that they both undergo, how their relationship changes over the time that this infant is in the neonatal ICU. And I mean, it was like you laughed, you cried, you were so moved. Everybody did an amazing job in the performance. I actually almost had trouble believing that the person who played the nurse is not a real nurse, because, I mean, she was a very convincing nurse, and my husband is a nurse, and he said that he was really moved by how well she portrayed nursing. So that was really, like, start to finish, an amazing day. And then Sunday, we spent all day at Tanglewood, which is much like Jacob's Pillow, but for classical music. So we went to Tanglewood, and we saw several concerts back to back. We kind of ended up running out of time on some of it. So, like, we saw the first show, which was like a young artist's performance, and we were then supposed to see a wind concert and then go to like the main concert with the Boston Symphony Orchestra. But we were realizing that we were kind of like cutting it a bit close. So we saw the first concert, got all the way through that, and it was pretty good. And then Noah and I think Noah and Dad and I, Noah and Sarah and I can't remember which of us, but at least Noah and I remember, decided to go back and see the first like little bit of the wind concert. And we knew we weren't going to be able to stay for the whole thing. Originally, we were going to stay until intermission and then leave and go back to the main event space for the big orchestral concert. But it turned out that we were cutting it a little close anyway with lunch, and so we actually only stayed for the first couple pieces and then got up and left, just like very unobtrusively while they were clapping. And so we had our lunch there on the premises. And then we saw the Boston Symphony, which was doing a choral piece called Carmina Burana. It was very, very big, very, very bold. I've actually sung that piece before when I was in college. We were supposed to have seats out on the lawn, but it looked like it was going to rain, so they moved us for free into the venue. We had the choice to go back out onto the lawn. Honestly, it would have been really cool to do that because it ended up not raining. But we also loved the seats we were in, just like undercover, didn't have to worry about the weather. Got a really good view of everything. And then on Monday, it was time to start heading back. So the first thing we did was, Sarah was with us this time. It was me and Noah and Sarah in the car instead of just me and Noah. So we had we booked a little bit more to try to do. We started out by going back to Art Omi, which was something I had really wanted to do. We got to the sculpture park is like 120 acres or something nuts like that. So there was no way we could see it all. But we went to like a different part of it, and we're able to walk around there and show Sarah the sculpture park, and it was super fun. And then I wanted to go to like a botanical garden of some kind, and I found a place called the Mountaintop Arboretum that was open on Mondays. It was like the only place we were going through upstate New York. It was like the only place in upstate New York that was open on Mondays. And so we went to the Mountaintop Arboretum. It was beautiful. There were so many different kinds of trees there, even like some rare kinds of trees. A really lovely hike. And then got back in the car, and we stayed overnight at the same hotel that Noah and I had stayed at on the way there. So that was nice. We got to go back there. And then on Tuesday, we got up, and Sarah had really wanted to go to like a historic house, to tour a historic house. And I have wanted to be doing that as well. So it was a lot easier to find things open on Tuesdays near Harrisburg, Pennsylvania than there were in upstate New York. So I found a place called the Fort Hunter Mansion and Park, and it was open on Tuesdays. We had an amazing tour at Fort Hunter, a very enthusiastic tour guide who, the tour was supposed to be 45 minutes long, but it ended up being about an hour and a half because there was just so much to talk about and to look at. And it was us and then another couple, and it was super fun to be able to do that. We browsed around the gift shop, we looked at everything, and then we went to a bookstore called Cabinet Maker Books that had several bookstore cats. And I ended up not spending that much time looking at the books because I was so excited about the cats. And sometimes that's just how it is. But we loved going there. I'd love to go back there and actually spend more time looking at the books. It was a beautiful used bookstore. Very artistic. There's something to look at everywhere. And then we got back home. I said hi to the cats. Brig's right over here. And Sarah stayed overnight with us, and then we just got back to our normal schedules on Wednesday. It was an amazing trip. I would love to go to so many of those places again. I really want to plan an upstate New York specific vacation that's kind of adjacent to what we were doing, but there was so much in upstate New York that we were driving around and I knew that there was stuff that was there that I didn't even know about. So I hope you enjoyed this vlog. Like I said, I'll have anything I can remember. I will have links to it in the description of this video, and I hope that you're all having a great summer and enjoying your vacations. Until next time, see you later.